And welcome to the final segment of this post-budget 2016 review with me, Rajacharya. Just now we talked about the man on the street. Now we have to look at the businessman, how it affects them. Now, I think one area which the government is trying to focus on, given the weakening ringgit, is to target at industries which will possibly help our currency against further decline. And I think one area they're looking at very strongly is the tourism sector in terms of generating more foreign revenue for us. That's the way to go, right, with the recent e-visa initiatives, tax deductions and incentives for those in this industry. Tan Sri?
You know what happened about tourism recently, and this is what the minister said, not what I said. When the Minister of Tourism, what the heck is happening about the visas? Now, to me, as an ex-civil servant, anybody outside will wonder what is happening in cabinet if they can't coordinate on this kind of issue. It's not a small thing. How come it is so important and yet there was a mess up?
Yeah.
What's the difference between having groups of 20 or groups of 5? It's not easy to go and get a group of 20. You know?
That's right. And recently Thailand, which has implemented, they are enjoying the fruits of all this influx of Chinese tourists recently.
We are not an island unto ourselves. I think you pointed out, this is globalization, this is competition, our neighbors are moving ahead. So we cannot look at ourselves from within and say, we're all right, Jack, But see what others are doing. So we may be doing well, but relative to others,
we could do better.
We're losing ground. This is a clear instance. So there needs to be more long-range thinking. There can be problems with visas, I agree. From the Sunway University and all that, we have some students coming, you do not know what they're up to. That's a problem, when you have liberal visas. But there are ways and means of checking on it.
Yeah.
So when you have labor coming in, visitors coming in, try to control them, because people will abuse privileges, and therefore you cannot say, I don't want to give preferences or privileges.
You shouldn't let a few rotten apples spoil the whole barrel.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right.
So I think we need a more integrated, coordinated approach in our thinking within the context of our 5-year plans and our annual budgets. After the budget now, you got the implementation. Some things will not be followed. But who is monitoring this? In the old days under Tun Razak, I recall, we had the implementation coordination unit, which was very powerful. Anywhere, Tunku Shariman, my colleague, was in charge. And he will go anywhere, and you can't bluff Tun Razak. Say, this bridge is done. You say, I want to go see it. But I don't know how many people are going to the ground now. They're more happy traveling around the world.
That's right. Have to be a lot more hands-on. Doctor, your thoughts in terms of this, and of course initiatives like government agencies like MITI Matrade in terms of assisting or promoting Malaysian exports abroad.
Well, at the end of the day, when we are talking about making the economy, the businesses more progressive, there's a lot of structural issue behind it. One, I would like to stress here on the point of productivity. You mentioned a little bit about the SME. We know that SME is actually comprises making up about 90, maybe 95, 96% of total number of establishments. Right. So that means if we address the issues of SME, we are addressing the
fundamental.
It will affect the majority of the people there. But unfortunately, SME has its own problem. MSME, if I'm not mistaken, SME now is experiencing negative productivity growth. You see? And that is the reason why the whole national productivity is not growing very rapidly as what we expect. And this is, I think, a major issue. Because if we want to go for high income economy, fundamentally, if we talk about economic fundamental, this is about productivity.
That's right.
And we compare our productivity with other countries, our neighboring countries or other countries. There is a huge gap between Malaysia and others. The fundamental of the productivity is actually our institutions, as what Tan Sri said just now about the governance and the budget presented just now. I think didn't address at all about the governance and also the institution.
Right.
I think this is more lasting and this is a more fundamental compared to as what Tan Sri said about the inflation, the numbers, but the numbers that are given, many people
Don't.
That's right.
trust them.
and also about the employment. Our employment
That's
is our unemployment. Sorry, our unemployment is a full employment. But yet, if you go deeper into the labor sector, there's a huge structural problem inside there. With 38% of our labor force actually is a migrant labor, and 50% of them are unregistered.
See, Prof, just to add to you,
Yeah,
I
correct.
think we have a tendency to play up our very good points, but play down our weaknesses. As a result, we might believe our own propaganda.
But the
And
problem
as
is
a
still there
result,
festering. and
For
growing.
example, the civil service, you know, if they are also told, or their ministers keep saying, everything is good, not to worry, we are the best, we carry on that way, they will not be incentivized to be able to think out of the box
That's right, be more
and to think more structurally, as you say.
Yeah.
That's right.
And this can be a major weakness.
Is it possible that now we tend to be more reactive? We look at things on the surface level, like even SMEs, there are quite a fair bit of incentives which are given to them. But as we have discussed, the structural problem goes way deeper. And I guess you brought it up earlier. Fundamentally, it's education. Education, education.
That's why we are three here in this position, thank God, because of education. Kalau tidak, you know, I'll be in estate, will remain kampung, you also will be in some area, urban poor area.
That's right.
But that's what it is.
That's right.
But I don't think we're doing enough on it. We are doing a lot, but not enough. And we must go for quality. You know.
That's right.
What our universities, they don't come in with the first 150, except one now recently, 160 or something.
That's right.
What happened, you know?
That's
I went to the University of Malaya in Singapore. The same university, same people. Look at those fellows and look at us.
That's right.
I mean, comparisons are odious,
Yeah.
but it's important to learn from these lessons.
That's right.
Where have we got wrong?
That's right. And on that note, Tan Sri, Doctor, we're almost running out of time. Now we have had a chance to have a quick look at the budget. A bit difficult for us to break down all the facts and figures. But before we end today's show, perhaps you could give one point where moving forward we could see some change, perhaps for the government to look at in budget 2017, although it's a year from now. Doctor, one area you feel very strongly about, which they should emphasize more?
The urgent issues is the issues of household standard of living, or what we are always talking about, cost of living.
That's right.
Because right now we are facing with the depreciation of ringgit and also increase in general price level, so it affects us the real income of the household.
Okay.
So
Tan
that
Sri?
issue.
I'm sure
Very
it's
quickly,
education.
the budget is not purely an economic instrument. It should reflect the well-being of all forces in the country. Racial unity, tolerance, understanding, good governance
All right.
is basic.
Okay, Tan Sri, thank you very much for your time. Tan Sri, Doctor, thank you for being on our
Okay,
show
thank
this
you.
evening. And there you have it, our quick wrap-up of this special post-budget 2016. We hope you enjoyed this edition. And with that, my name is Racharya. Do have a fantastic evening ahead. Take care and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.